Today we're going to look at how to enter in data into a TI-84 or any TI-80 series calculators. So first we need to go to the Stat menu, which is this button right here. And we are going to first start by editing. Now if you already have data in your calculator like I do, you can either delete each entry by just hitting the delete button, which will delete one item at a time, or you can go up to the very top and hit the clear button, which is down here under the thumb pad, and then use the arrows to go down, and you see I've cleared out all the data that was in the calculator. Over here are my 5 data points that I want to enter in. So to do so, type in the first data point and then either hit enter, which will automatically take me down to the next one, or I can use the arrow key up here to simply go down. And we have our data in. Now if we had a second list of numbers that we wanted to enter in, but this time we don't want to delete the current set that is already in. So instead we're going to use our arrow key over here to go to our L2, our list 2. And I'm going to input the data the exact same way into my L2, my second list. So now I have both lists accessible in the calculator. Now once I have my data in, I can quickly do some of the single variable analysis. So again, I go ahead and hit the Stat button, brings up my Stat menu, but this time I want to arrow over here to highlight the Calculate. I do that by using my arrow keys again, and we're going to do one variable stats, this first one, which will do some of the basic analysis for single variable data. Now when I hit enter, it brings up this. If I hit enter again, it will do the single variable data analysis on list 1. That is the default. So when I hit it, I can see my X bar or my mean, my sum and sum squares, which could later be used to find standard deviations. But it also gives me my standard deviations. Notice there is 2 of them. The first one is assuming the data set is a sample, so my denominator is actually n-1. And the second one is assuming that this is a population data set. So we do have 2 slightly different standard deviations. Make sure you know which type of data you're dealing with, sample or population, to use the correct standard deviation. But I also, if I use my down arrow key, I can find more information. So here I have n=5 telling me my data set contained 5 data points, and then it continues to give me my 5-point data summary. The minimum, the Q1, the median, the Q3, and the max, which this information could be used later to do a to use a box and whiskers plot. Alright, so we have our data analysis on our first list. But now we want to do it on the second list of data, this list over here that we put into our L2 or list 2. So again, we go to our stats, over to calculate, one variable. But this time we don't want the calculator to do the default of L1, so we need to tell it which list we want it to do it on. Now this can be done with any list of data in the calculator, but we put our list into L2, so we're going to hit Shift 2. Now our calculator knows that I'm wanting it to do the data analysis on just L2. Then we press enter. Again, we get the same information. We get the mean, the sums and sum of squares, our sample standard deviation, our population standard deviation, again slightly different, arrowing down, and we get our 5-point data summary along with our data count.